Greetings, it's Nika. Welcome to Nika Knows. I'm up here trying to organize paper. Came across my daughter's, ooh, I don't know if I should be showing all that information, but I'm just saying. Came across my daughter's record from birth, premature, 24 weeks. And I'll just say I found myself with tears falling down my face and why am I crying? Why am I crying? I don't know. But I definitely feel very thankful. Extremely thankful. Just I can't explain, you know. And maybe I'm just crying because I'm happy. But I think I'm supposed to be sad maybe. Because it feels sad. Like I have a headache now. And I don't really be getting headaches and stuff. But, you know, like I done came across, you know, they talked about the birth and everything. They discussed me and they said, your parents, you know, they talk about, I don't know if I show how I can black out the information I wouldn't want people to see. So it's hard for me to explain, you know. I'll just read what it says, right? How they calling it? It says, patient is a female infant born, this is my daughter, her day of birth. Her mother presented in labor and delivered the day of delivery with bleeding and preterm labor. She preceptuously delivered and was noted to have an abruption. Time of rupture was unknown. Mother reported bleeding and leakage of fluid for 3 weeks prior to delivery. Placental abruption noted at delivery. APGARS 08, I don't know what that is. No HR detected initially. Required intubation as well as chest compressions, talking about my daughter. And I think that's where I first got choked up at. Well, first, when they talked about, I had been reporting. I had been to the doctor 3 weeks before. I had went to the ER a week before. Bleeding, same thing. A lot of things could have been avoided. My daughter could have got, trying to speak a little more clear. My daughter would have been able to receive the medication for her lungs so that her lungs wouldn't be as fragile, would be more healthy by the time that I actually delivered. Also, my delivery or labor could have been delayed with medication. But none of that was taken seriously. And one of the notes that I saw, because you see this note, like every doctor has to reiterate these notes in some kind of way to explain the history of the child that they're treating. And it's like a new doctor every week or so, or every surgery there's a new doctor or something. Excuse me. And like under one of them, it has my mental diagnosis. You know, it throws me off a bit, you know. It makes me wonder if it's like a cop-out, like to say, well, I couldn't take her word for what she was saying because she was, you know, a mental patient. And, I mean, what proof do I have? I have recordings of, I mean, I probably still do, because I have that phone. I still have it. Recording the doctor's visits, because I would do that. Because a lot of things that happen to me are hard to believe. So I have a habit of recording everything. And yeah. And so then, you know, I think the next thing that caught me up is, you know, I'm just reading it just the day she was born, and then it like jumped to the 5th day. But I don't realize it jumped to the 5th day. And just reading how she kept dying and they kept bringing her back and doing chest compressions and doing however it was termed it in this thing, and then, they talk about transferring her to children's, and that's when I realized, oh, they're talking about that time, and I remember singing outside of her room, with my godmother, her dad, friend of mine, Wendy. I don't know if her wife was there. I don't remember. This was a crazy time. I feel like she was, because it was almost like we was in pairs. My godmother's wife was there. And I actually remember taking a picture with Wendy. But we was outside. On that same day, I believe it was the same day. It was the day her dad got her names. So her dad practiced Ifa. There's in this tradition or religion, they do a ritual. I never practiced Ifa. I acknowledge some of the deities, but that's not here or there. That's not the point of this. The point is, through the religion, there are ceremonies for different things. Like most religions have ceremonies for things. Well, there's a naming ceremony. And so, of course, she was born and went to the NICU, so she wasn't really out. The ceremony wasn't with her, but a ceremony was still made that her daddy took part in and brought back her names. So, it may not have been that day. I kind of feel like it was, but it may not have been that day. The reason why I think that it wasn't that day was because when he told me the names, I immediately got the song for her name. Iyame Oshumiwa Orisha Baby Shelby. And so on the day that she kept dying, and they asked us, do you want to hold her until she dies? Or do you want us to keep trying? And I honestly don't remember her dad's sentiment, but I think in the end, obviously it was a yes. We're going to fight for her, I definitely was like, we're going to fight for her. Like, she fighting, we fighting. But yeah, so like, so I'm reading it, like, it don't give you the different days. Like, it don't be like, okay, now we're talking about such and such date. It's like, diagnosis, treatment, diagnosis, treatment, diagnosis, what happened, and yeah, that was quite a memory. We was out there singing her name song, just trying to get her while the doctors was around her bed, her little, little bitty box incubator that she was in. And then they just list some of the diagnoses. Prematurity, birth weight, 500 and 749 grams. She was 1 pound and 6 ounces. She was like 1 pound and 5.9 ounces, something like that. 24 weeks, 1 day. She was 1 day into 24 weeks. Like, she made 24 weeks that day. The day that she made 23 weeks was the day I went to the ER. The day before she made 23 weeks, I went into preterm labor. And the hospital told me that they wouldn't be able to save if I brought her in that day. So I prayed and I asked her, I need you to stay a little longer, And I think I had some cucumber water and some lemon water or something that I made. I don't remember. But it was some kind of fruit water I made. And I drank that. And after like having like contractions for I think at least an hour. And I said that prayer, the contractions on the way, I fell asleep, and then the next morning I went to the ER and they was like, you ain't in labor. And the reason I knew I was in labor was because just a week before that, really probably like 4 days or so before that, I had went to the doctor for a regular doctor appointment. And the day before I went to the doctor appointment, I had all these unusual symptoms. And I'm thinking if I ever sue these people, you know, they try to use everything that you say against me. But who says I'm not doing this for entertainment purposes? But anyway, I knew that I was in labor because when I went to the doctor with those new symptoms, these new symptoms that I had, and I'm telling the doctor, you know, because she's like, oh, it's nothing. And I was like, well, I am just bringing it to your attention. Because when I be talking to other people, like in the doctor's office and stuff, I be a little different. Like, it's just me right here. I can talk to you, but, sometimes when I'm around professionals and people who help I require, my demeanor change a lot, So I was like, I'm just, I noticed that these, all these things are happening and it's very different all at one time, that it could be symptoms of something else. I literally told this lady that, not knowing what I was talking about. I wasn't expecting it was a symptom of anything. I mean, of anything specific. I just felt like if all these things happening out the blue, then something is happening. And these are symptoms of that something happening. So she told me, she gave me a website, or she gave me a paper with she gave me a website, and she was like, read this. So when I was having a preterm labor symptoms, the contractions, when I was having the contractions, which I didn't understand that cramps, like bad period cramps, was what contractions felt like. I never been pregnant before. I didn't know. But some kind of way it made me go look up the thing. Look up the website. Now on the website, they had preterm labor, and the symptoms of preterm labor, no lie, the 3 that I told the doctor about was on that list. It was a few things that was on. It was more than probably, maybe it was 5 or 6 things on the list. I don't remember, but the things that I told her about was on the list. And I knew I was in preterm labor. Excuse me. All right, so yeah. It says 24 weeks. Bronchopulmonary dysplasia is BPD. That's what she was diagnosed with before she was diagnosed with asthma. BPD is like asthma, but they too young for it to be called asthma, so it's called BPD. It's not necessarily the same thing, but she has asthma now instead of BPD. Nutritional assessment, anemia, prematurity, poor venous access, like her veins are too thin. At risk for development of delayed intraventricular grade 4 hemorrhage. She wound up having a grade 4 on one side and a grade 3 on the other side. She needed a shunt. Yeah. Germinal matrix hemorrhage without birth injury. That's the grade 3. Retinopathy of prematurity of eyes, both her eyes. Osteopenia prematurity, that's her bones. Poor feeding. I read something that was like, even with the breast milk and the vitamin D, but they were, I mean, just where I'm gonna just show you like just the amount of pages I have read through is like this much, and it's like all this record, And all this record is not even her whole record. Underneath that record, I got a whole nother a whole nother thing of records. So this was the first envelope, and then that's the second envelope. And those records are from after these times. There were things that happened while she was in the hospital that made me like, I need to know. I need records. I need records because y'all doing some stuff I don't trust. And I mean, I guess like while I'm doing this video, I just felt like sharing, I guess, you know. This is what I'm going through as a mother of a premature child. I got these records long ago, probably for a very specific reason, I'm sure. And I never even read the beginning of this stuff until now. My daughter's 4 years old. My daughter will be 5 in April, and it's January. You know, she was born in 2018, and it's now January the 7th, 2023. It's like all this medicine she was taking. And look at this. Ain't that interesting? So I just saw, let me see what date this for. 426. It's 421. I don't even have a daddy on here. So they have social. They have mom. Then my name and my phone number. They have Miss Bashir, which is was my godmother's wife at the time. And her number. Then they have my godmother. They actually have Miss Bashir as Iyami's grandmother. They not her, she's my godmother. So my daughter calls her Gigi Ma for great godmother, because my mother is not living, and my mom wouldn't have that. Ain't no replacing her, right? But just noticing that. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because I'm also, another thing, and reason why I was reading the thing is because I'm in court for my child right now. Currently I have a half the time court order, half the time, 7 days on, 7 days off. And from the last court appearance, I got medical decision, like the person to make the medical decisions. And it was delayed because he don't have a lawyer for the second time. So the judge granted a continuance for that again, so he can get a lawyer. But I'd be interested to continue to go through here to see if I don't know why they don't have her dad on there for this one though. That's interesting. Maybe because it was just that particular day. Or let me see, when is this the report from? Because I don't know if they got some record in here of who was showing up over the 8 months that she was in the hospital. That would probably be very helpful to my case. Because Dad fell off big. He fell off. I was down there in the hospital by myself. After she was 4 months. Like, it was... Yeah. I was there every day. Every day but Sunday. After she was 4 months. So interesting. They really don't even have her dad on here for this. I'm surprised. I don't know what else to say. If there was somebody asking questions like, but I ain't really have no extra particular purpose for doing this. I guess I can say Spirit said to just record it. It's like, be on here crying and stuff. Face all early and stuff. you know, looking like a fried chicken. You see my hair, I ain't got my wig on. But this me. It's Nika. Welcome to Nika Knows. My daughter is well now. Her most apparent condition is the asthma. She sees well. She hears well. She's not, I'll say she's intelligent. She has a great memory. She was diagnosed with autism. Very fun, very social. You know, really concerned with faces right now. Is he sad, Mama? Is that sad? Is he happy? Is he angry? I don't know if that's normal or not. In my research about autism for my own self, I know that being able to read faces is a big thing. You know, something I struggle with. For many years in my childhood, you know, I had a sister the same age as mine, a year and a half younger than me, and we were raised closely like twins. And you know, I was a physical fighter, but she was the one who could call out what was going on, and you better not let her call it out, because you're gonna have to deal with me. But you know, that's not here or there. Just, yeah, I'm thankful. This is what it's like. Then I really want to say parents at home. When was this? 6/11. Let's see, I mean 2 months. Had to be. Parents at home. Yamin was never, especially before 4 months, Yamin was never in the hospital by herself. It would be me, her dad, or my godmother or my godmother wife. So that's interesting. See what time it is. It's 7:47 a.m. Yeah, up until like we was doing 12-hour shifts for a long time. For a nice little minute. I can't stop going through the papers. I was going through an order, but I guess not on there in one hand because I'm holding the phone. I'm like just kind of pulling up sheets and stuff like that. I don't know if I've done all that Spirit was expecting me to do, but I feel better, I guess. I feel like I need to go to sleep. That's how I feel like. It's about 9:30. 23:13 on the phone. 23 minutes. My baby as well. She's running. Started running maybe a month or so ago. 2 years ago. No more than 2 years ago. When she was 2. We didn't know if she would ever be able to walk on her own without crutches or the little rolling thing, you know. And she's running. And even with her lung condition, she sings. She sings. I have a video of her surprise me. We singing the ABCs and the numbers and stuff. And I mean singing, not like A, B, C, D. I'm like A, B, L, M, N, O, P. Like she's singing, right? And so I was like, I did something where I was like, hey, hey, something like that. And then she like tried to do it. And then all of a sudden you see her do this. Like roll her shoulders back. And I'm like, I ain't never did that before. I like it gave me Tina Turner, This Little Light of Mine vibes. Like, and that's her turtle she made at school on the wall. She by her dad, and her dad not let me talk to her right now. It's some BS. He disabled the video calls. We had court Thursday, and then he disabled the video calls. Just trying to trigger me. But I'm 100% expecting a very good outcome on the next court date in March. And these type of things that we doing right now, disabling calls, it's only helping me in the long run. So I may be rambling just now. Thanks for listening, watching. Like and subscribe if you like. Comment, please. And go on sparkle. Go on sparkle, y'all. I lied. Look. I'm looking at something that says she was weaned 8'10". She was weaned hydrocodone. Oh, that was off of my scent. All right. Go on sparkle, y'all. Love you.